What's going on, guys? Hexadaze here, back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be checking out a game that you may have never heard of called Etheria Restart, which has a lot of similarities to a game you probably have heard of, Honkai Star Rail. And when I say it has a lot, I do mean a lot. Right off the bat, this game looks and feels really good. I play a lot of games in early access, beta testing phases, and a lot of them don't feel great. So that's really refreshing and good to see. And I am excited for the future of this game. This one's coming from XD, who are the developers of Sword of Convalaria and Torchlight Infinite. It's been around for a little bit. We first saw the game back in July of 2022, but more recently at the 2024 Tokyo Game Show, we got an updated trailer as well as a 2024 release date. We've got a global website for the game, the Steam page is up, and the game text has been 100% translated into English already, so I believe the game is getting close to release, and some of you are really going to like this game without a doubt. The game is currently in its third closed beta test over in Taiwan, and I probably put around 15 hours or so into the game and have a pretty good understanding of the systems and what the game is all about. At first glance, the game looks like a simple reskin of Honkai Star Rail, but after playing for a few hours, I started to unlock PvP, guild activities, and leaderboards, and it became very clear that this game is going down the PvP focused route and doing something a little bit different than typical Hoyoverse titles and catering to that more competitive audience. So let's go ahead and jump in the game and check out the gameplay. All right, so at its core, Etheria Restart is a turn-based RPG. In most cases, you're going to be deploying a team of 4 units, sometimes 5, but 4 is typical. We've also got an affinity counter system with our 3 main attributes, Reason, Hollow, and Odd. And then we've got 2 kind of unique ones, Disorder and Constant, which are kind of like light and dark elements in a game like Epic 7 and are specifically very powerful, but we'll talk about those a little bit more later. For now, let's go ahead. I'm going to start the battle in auto. We're going to let them play. Depending on whether the enemy is weak to your particular attribute, you're going to deal increased crit rate and damage, or if they're resistant, it's going to decrease your crit rate, your effect accuracy, and the damage done. So very powerful system, as it can be in a lot of these types of games. I'm going to go ahead and put it in manual now. And once our turn comes back up, you'll see that all of our agents will have 3 skills. The first skill is going to be able to be used on every single turn. The other ones, you're going to have to wait a specific number of turns to use. So instead of a normal skill point system that we see in a lot of these games, these skills are on a turn-based cooldown. So you can see I use my W skill right here. I'm going to heal my unit, and it's got a 3 there. So I've got to wait 3 more turns until that skill comes back up and I can use it again. Some of the stages in this game will have unique effects going on. There's nothing specifically happening on this stage, so I'll show that a little bit later. And then we can also see all of the buffs and debuffs, both on our team and our enemies, and go into, the specifics of what that buff or debuff is doing. Which overall, I think this is a really nice system. I enjoy being able to kind of read this whole description, and they've done pretty good with the UI overall, in my opinion. We've also got our typical 1, 2, and 3x speed, and then our manual and auto option. So overall, I think the combat in this game is really solid. It feels pretty fleshed out, and I've been happy with it so far. All right, so this battle just finished up. I want to go show what character progression in this game is going to look like. All right, so characters in this game are referred to as animus. So we are not going to use that name. We're just going to call them characters, but just something to note. You can see some of the different characters that I have been building during the CBT. The character designs in this game, honestly, they look amazing to me. I think the devs for this game have done a fantastic job. I think the male characters specifically look pretty badass. She looks really cool. The colors look really nice. The 3D models look really good overall. I'm really happy with the designs in this game, and I think a lot of other people will be happy as well. We've also got some skins right now. They're all simple. It's just simple recolors, but this is kind of nice. This one's available just through an event, but I would imagine, you know, we get more event skins moving forward, as well as maybe the ability to purchase some skins in the future. Character progression in this one's going to be pretty standard. We've got our stats on kind of our homepage for our character. We've got our skills and our skill descriptions where we can read more about those. And then we've got our upgrades. So, you know, leveling up is going to take one type of currency. Once we get to that level cap, I'm going to have to go down here on one of these random characters, but let's just do this guy for purposes of demonstration. Once we get to the level cap, we are going to rank up. That's going to use these materials that everyone in the game actually uses. So we'll just star up, and we increase our level cap, our stats, and our number of stars, and then we start leveling again from 1. On top of that, we've got our ether modules. These are like our relics in Star Rail, our artifacts in Genshin. 6 pieces total. Very similar. We've got a main stat and then our substats. We've got some different sets in the game currently. Set bonuses are very simple. We'll look at the Wellspring set. This is essentially a 2-piece, 4-piece, and 6-piece bonus. And really all that changes is that we increase that effect of HP plus 10 all the way up to HP plus 45 if we bring this one all the way up to the maximum number of pieces. So pretty simple system there. Next, we've got our skills. Our skill level ups in this game are a little bit unique. Actually, you know, as we level up our skills, it doesn't immediately change anything about the skill. Instead, it gives us these passive stats. So we've got attack plus 5%, attack plus 60, attack plus 5%, and then we finally get to an actual skill level here. There are only a total of 5 skill levels, so I imagine it will take a good amount of time to get all of your character's skills leveled up, and this will kind of change a little bit more about how the skill specifically works. Finally, we've got our dupe system. So this is a little bit more unique from other, I guess, games that maybe you're more accustomed to. So the dupes really are just going to give you kind of these basic stat bonuses. Increases base attack, defense, and HP by 5%. Same thing here. This is going to increase our healing effect applied and then increase damage dealt. So actually these are, from what I can tell, they're the same across all of the units except for this second dupe. Here we've got the healing effect, but on one of our like damage focus units, we've got a crit damage increase, but otherwise, or maybe it's 2 and 4. Otherwise, these are, you know, pretty similar across the board. Nothing too crazy. However, you might notice that this game does not have weapons, and so character dupes are going to play a much larger role and are probably going to be a little bit easier to get. Finally, we've got what are called shells. These are basically pets, and we equip these to our character. We can level them up, kind of like Bang Boos in a Zenless Zone Zero. And these guys are going to have passive effects. In this case, it's going to increase our actual character's HP by 360, and it's also going to have a skill that it performs before the action, enhance the Everness, so give us our passive, I guess, and then increasing the healing result for this turn by 1600. If we've got like a damage-focused one, a striker type, this is going to, after our character's action, it's going to do a follow-up attack and deal some additional damage. So these are kind of a cool system. Also, you don't have to roll for these. You're actually going to farm for them. And I assume you're going to unlock kind of different passive effects. And this is going to be why you keep farming over time. You're going to go for that, you know, the one that you really want. That's about it when it comes to character progression. Overall, it's pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot to it, and the game keeps it pretty simple. All right, so we're going to go ahead and look at what content is available in the game as of CBT3, because there is actually a surprising amount of stuff to do. You might notice that we're in this this kind of apartment. This is our main hub where we're going to access all of our content. We do have some things like outfits in here, you know, to kind of, I guess, maybe eventually decorate and customize the hub. But for the most part, we're just going to check out kind of the main systems today. Your main story quest. So you can see I've completed through chapter 8 at this point. There is a little bit more to do. I don't know how much of it I'll be able to unlock during the test, but we'll just load up into one of these levels and check it out. And you can see that the main story, you are exploring these kind of instance-based zones, you know, similar to your Honkai Star Rail or maybe your Zenless Zone Zero. And man, the world looks really good. We are going to navigate around and then take on enemies throughout the stage. You can see that was very reminiscent of HSR. You're going to clear a bunch of battles as you go through the stage, take on bosses as you get later in, and go through the different story elements of that specific chapter. The story seemed okay-ish, but I don't really think this is a story-based game first and foremost, so my expectations aren't too high. But visually, at least, the stages and exploration aspects looked really good. We're going to go ahead and get out of this mode so we can go check out the other game modes currently available. All right, so we are back at our base. Challenge is we're going to be accessing our daily farming stages. So this is our shell drop farming. Those are those cute little pets that we were just looking at. We've got casual and hard and a ton of bosses to take on for farming those. We've got our ether modules. These are going to be our relics. A ton of different stages to clear here with better rewards as we scale up. We've got our Everness experience. This is just our leveling materials. But again, we've got a lot of levels to clear here with kind of better rewards as we climb up. And then we've got our prowess activation materials, which are going to be our skill level up material. So tons of stuff to farm. And what is great about this game is we've got continuous battles. So we can go in here, we can set a consecutive number of battle rounds. I'm low on stamina, but so we can run this battle up to 10 times if we've restarted the stage. We're going to load in. We are going to start the battle. And then you've got this little button here so you can minimize out. You can go do other things. You can get in another battle. You just can't start another one of these continuous battles. That is an awesome feature that should speed up your daily time that you're spending just kind of farming in the game. Next, we've got our challenge modes. I'm probably not going to unlock the character story and multi-team adventure before making this video, but we've got our team challenge. This is a really cool mode. It's essentially kind of like a boss rush mode. You can take it on with a group of people in your guild, some of your friends, or random people. It's got a ranking system, and what you're going to do is you're going to team up with one other player, and you're going to disperse your units between these multiple bosses kind of based on the resistances. And I'm not going to match with someone right now, but what we can do is we can check out what the #1 rank match looked like. Basically, you guys are going to kind of share units, and you're going to take on these 3 bosses for a combined score and a chance to, rank on the leaderboards and get some rewards. Overall, I think the concept of this is really cool. It's kind of like a raid, weekly boss. It's just a cool concept overall, and I like the social features that the devs are implementing and would expect them to be able to run with other cool ideas in the future. Next, we've got our Abyss Challenge mode. These are floors, kind of like your normal Abyss or Tower. We've got 30 here, and then a hard mode. This is going to reset. We've got our rankings and leaderboards for people that like that stuff, and a supply hub. So you're going to get rewards for completing these challenges, and you're going to be able to roll on, essentially like premium currency or really good rewards with each reset. Just as an example, so when I load up into these stages, it's not like just going to immediately launch me into a fight. I am going to have some exploration, and I'm going to take on enemies and collect chests as I go through the stage. So we've also got a limited time event going on right now, which is the challenge exchange. Basically, we're going to get 4 attempts at this per day. We're going to take on a kind of high level boss type enemy. And once we kill 5 of a specific type, like are listed here, we're going to get the rewards for completing that kind of tier of content. So just something to do for some additional rewards. Next, we've got a union or guild system. I know a lot of people like these things in games. Guilds can hold up to 30 players. And you've got kind of your daily check-ins, your commissions, doing different, just playing the game. Essentially, you're going to unlock additional rewards. Your union shop, which is a major perk of doing union activities, is getting all these really good upgrade materials. And then you've got your main thing that you do with your guild, which is take on a specific boss at higher and higher difficulties. You've also got the opportunity here to donate through the mutual aid system. And basically, I can donate to someone else, and it's going to give them character shards. And once you collect 50 character shards, you're going to be able to turn those shards into a dupe of the character. So joining a guild also allows you to kind of expedite you getting dupes of characters, which is quite a positive in my opinion. Last but not least, we've got the PvP mode, which is called Arena. I think this is what is really going to kind of attract a lot of people to this game specifically. Oh, I've got 2 modes unlocked right now, which is Arena and Summit Arena. Arena is your typical PvP mode. It's still got our rankings. It's still got our arena shop that resets. But here we're basically going to be able to choose from, what teams do we want to take on. We can see the defense lineup, and then we're going to use a ticket to go into PvP. Their units are going to come out. We're going to have the opportunity to select our units, but in this specific mode, we're going to be able to deploy the exact same units as the enemy team. And we'll just go in auto and we'll run this fight. It looks like we've just completely outscaled the other team. So a couple more hits and then, all right, they are done. We won our arena battle. We've got some points. We've got some drops, and we can do that, I think, about 5 times per day. So nothing too special there. Where PvP really shines in this game is going to be in the Summit Arena. Okay, so Summit Arena is going to be like our real-time arena mode. We are going to hop into it. We'll just do a match. Okay, we've got a successful match. And now we're going to go in. Our opponent is choosing their lineup. We take turns. This third spot, you'll see that there is a lock on it. And that means that our opponent cannot ban that particular choice of ours. So we're going to take turns selecting units. I am going to select, let's go with her, confirm my selection. I get to select a second one now. It is my turn again. We are going to pick Klaus. We're going to confirm our selection. Now it's going to go back to the opponent. And that third slot is, kind of the really critical one where you cannot lose that member of your team. We're going to choose our healer for that slot. Now we're going to go with, let's put Gray here. And what you see is that we really like Leanne. However, the other party has already selected her, so we can't both put the same unit on the field, which is going to make this challenging. All right, so now I get to ban one of the opponent's units. It looks like they've got this guy leveled up the most. We're going to disable. And now they're going to do the same thing for me. They're going to ban one of my units. And we're going to start. All right, so we're just going to go turn by turn throughout the battle. They are taking their turn first. Okay. We're going to do an action steal on her. Oh, God. So this team is really scuffed. We don't have a DPS. I expect we're going to lose. but we will just whittle away and see what happens. Let's go defense down. We'll just keep chipping away at one of their units. All right, we got smoked. It looks like people are already maybe getting a little bit sweaty, and I also picked a god-awful team. We will do a single heal. I'm purposely not healing. Okay, all right, so we lost. So you saw what a match looks like. You go through the pick period. You cannot duplicate units with the other team. You've got your specific slot where that unit cannot be banned, and then you go into the banning of the opposite team, and then you take turns fighting the battle. I don't think there's any limit on how many times you can run this per day. So, you know, you can play the PvP to your heart's content. It's a great endgame mode. We've got some other endgame type modes in the game, and I'm sure they'll add more over the future. But, you know, if you're into PvP, you're definitely going to enjoy this RTA arena mode. All right, to wrap this video up, we're going to go ahead and talk about the summon system or the gacha, and I'm going to give my closing thoughts, as I think we've seen a lot of the content or most of the content that's available in this game right now. So, as I mentioned, there are no weapons in this game, just characters. So we've got 4 banners during the CBT. We've got 2 limited raid-up banners. One is going to be our kind of normal elemental units, and then this one is going to be our light and dark type units, or they're also referred to really as constant and disorder. These are kind of your more OP units. So let's just look at the banner overall. So this unit has a 1.8% probability to pull. There's no other characters on this banner, which is awesome. So no 50-50s. We've also got raid up SR characters at 7%. And basically, once we get to 100, we're going to guarantee the character on this particular banner. So 100 pulls on this banner. Same deal. Our raid up character, 1.8%. We've got a limited raid up here. It's going to take 100 pulls. However, if we go to do a 10 pull on this Phantom Protocol, you're going to see it costs 1,000 Hydra Crystals or 1,000 of kind of your premium currency. However, on this banner, it's going to cost 3,000. So these light and dark type units are going to cost a lot more. They're a lot more OP. But this dude looks freaking awesome. He just looks so good. I love this character design so much. Okay, so we've also got our 2 kind of standard banners, one for our every character in the game, and then one for the 2 constant and disorder units. So our permanent summon, you can see just our regular element types, 1.5%. Our extreme types, 0.5%. This is 80 times to guarantee the character. Pretty standard stuff. And then down here, these guys are at 2%, and we're only going to pull our constant and disorder type units on this particular banner. So there's the gacha. You know, I think the game's going to be dupe heavy, but there are only a couple banners, which makes all of this a lot more manageable. All right, so we're going to wrap this one up with my thoughts on the game after, 15 or so hours. I guess overall, the game is way better than I expected. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I play a lot of beta tests. I hop in for a little bit, and usually I don't even want to make a video on some of these games because they just feel so bad. This game has a PC client. It feels extremely smooth. The graphics rival Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero, in my opinion. I think it's right up there with the kind of top competitors in the gacha space at this time. The game feels really snappy. It's also got a 120 FPS mode, so it just looks and feels really good overall. The character designs and models in this one are, in my opinion, top tier. I think they do male characters better than maybe any game that I've seen on the market right now. At least 3D male characters. They look really freaking cool. The gear system in this one feels kind of limited. You've got your artifacts, you don't have a weapon, and then you've got your pet. The artifact set bonuses are really simple. It's like HP plus 10%. Really nothing kind of cool to play around with your build there, in my opinion. The pet system is cool and unique. but once you kind of collect all the pets in the game, I guess that's about as far as that would go. You don't have your weapon system, so really you're going to be going for character dupes, and I think really you're just going to feel like base stat increases as your character progresses, and less like you're kind of unlocking new cool parts of the character. The world, while it looks really, really good, feels kind of generic overall. Hopefully they introduce some more kind of interesting areas to explore moving forward. The limited event in the game, kind of disappointing. There's no story attached to it. It's really just more the same, fight this character. Some games do events really, really well. I think Nikki's one of those games that just kills it on their events and the theming and story and kind of integrating a bunch of stuff in the event. So hopefully that was just kind of a test, and the actual events that they're going to run in this game are better moving forward, as I think those could really carry the game along, with the fact that, the game doesn't have a lot of story content from what I can tell. It feels like it has a ton of endgame content, but that's really it. There's kind of no casual features. There's not much going on in the story. So unless you want to run PvP, which a lot of people do for sure, I can see this one getting boring. That said, I think this game is going to have a dedicated hardcore audience like Epic 7. So, people will be attracted to this game for sure. I don't think it's going to capture much of the Hoyo market just because it's got none of those casual features, and the story was kind of missing in my opinion. So we'll see where they go with that. But overall, I think it's a solid game. I think if you like PvP, it could be one of the better games on the market, especially with the PC client and just how everything looks. But I'm excited to see where the devs go with this one. And I guess if it comes to global and comes out in 2024, we'll check it out and we'll give it another shot. So if you guys made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a long one. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and I'll see you all soon for the next video. Peace.